Okay, take two, and welcome to Critical Weight Theory. And today we're going to be talking about a famous song that a lot of people have heard. It's Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. And some people claim that it's so overplayed, so overrated, that they're willing to say that Bohemian Rhapsody may even be the worst rock song of all time. Or at least they're so tired of hearing it. So, what's up with that? Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen isn't just a rock song, it's like a 6 minute epic that smashed every rule in the pop playbook when it was released in 1975. It blended ballad, opera, and hard rock, which for some people are three genres that had no business being in the same song, let alone in the same verse. And somehow it worked. The charisma of Freddie Mercury and the guitar playing of Brian May, that soaring guitar stuff that he did, and the hard, crunchy riffage that he also gets into during a key part of the song. All of those are like a magical formula. Plus, of course, you got the great piano playing as well. And it's a song that was just crazy enough to work. At the time, executives told Queen the song was too long, nearly 6 minutes, while radio stations didn't want to touch it. No way it could be a hit, is what so many of them said. But Queen didn't back down. Instead, they took the song to DJ Kenny Everett, who played it over and over on London's capital radio. The audience went wild, demand exploded, and suddenly the Too Long to Work track was topping the charts. And it wasn't just a hit, it sort of became an institution. It's been inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. It's part of the US National Recording Registry, recognized as culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. Critics have obviously praised it, musicians admire it, generations still know every word. I think my biggest introduction to the song was in the movie Wayne's World, which kind of breathed new life into the song back in the 1990s. That movie helped make it go back onto the charts. And all that aside, music is still personal, and some people, they just don't like the song. And I get the critiques of songs that get overplayed. Some people, they might have even liked a song at first, but they've just heard it so many times that it's like, it just starts to become a drag to hear it again. And I get that. Some bands hate their own songs for that reason. They they played it so many times. They see every little flaw that they could see in the song because they're so familiar with it, and they just don't want to play it anymore. And for people who were never a fan of the song in the first place, well, obviously, it could be even worse. So, for another example, Radiohead really hates the song Creep. I suppose it doesn't help in their case that they were actually sued because they kind of borrowed elements from a different song, and that probably tarnishes the reputation of Radiohead's Creep for the band a little bit. But they might be tired of it just because they have to, you know, play it and hear it so often, and they probably get asked about it all the time, too. So I think the same is true for music fans about Bohemian Rhapsody. They hear it so much, and it starts to seem like it's just too normalized now. Maybe the special quality that it had for some people just isn't there anymore. Or, like I said, maybe they just want to hate it because hating stuff is cool. There's that Offspring song that came out on their Ixnay on the Ombre album called Cool to Hate. And boy, is that ever true sometimes. And I think Bohemian Rhapsody is just one of those things where it's like considered sacred, and some people think that sacred cows make the best hamburger, right? So they're like, well, I'm gonna trash talk this song and seem all edgy and cool or whatever. But here's the thing, like speaking personally, I kind of agree that Bohemian Rhapsody is overplayed, but compared to some other overplayed songs, I don't get tired of it nearly as much. It's just that good of a song in my opinion. And I don't normally listen to Queen that often, but some songs are just I I don't see anything that wrong with them, and this is one of them. If I had to listen to it like 24 times in a row, then okay, I could see how that could get old. But I don't think I'll ever be in that Saw movie like situation where I'm sort of left stranded in some isolated location and forced to listen to Bohemian Rhapsody over and over again until I perform some twisted task to appease my master or something like that. I just don't think that's going to unfold as a scenario for me. So until something like that happens, I think I'll still remain a fan of Bohemian Rhapsody. And if Bohemian Rhapsody doesn't do it for you, that's fair. No one's wrong for not liking a song. Well, I suppose I could still say you're wrong if I want, but you know, it's all a matter of opinion. But worst rock song ever, that's where I would say no, I pretty strongly disagree with that. I've heard worse rock songs, and you know, I think I think it's pretty easy to find something that's worse than Bohemian Rhapsody, and you'd be hard pressed to find any serious cultural or musical standard that agrees with the argument that it's like the worst of the worst. Still, if you want to make that claim, as actually some people do, you can feel free to do so. So, what would make somebody say that? If you actually hate the song with a burning passion, what makes you say that? Is it the operatic middle, the theatrical vibe, the over the top drama, the kick ass soaring guitar solo stuff, the crunching hard rock riff, the piano playing, the amazing vocal harmonies, and all of that sort of thing? Is that something that bothers you? I don't know. I guess I'm curious about understanding the main critiques. So, I'm genuinely curious. Hit me up and let me know. Until next time, this is CWT. Keep listening and keep questioning the classics.